Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Gaspard Ulliel was a French actor and model widely admired for his magnetic screen presence, refined elegance, and versatility. Born on November 25, 1984, in Boulogne-Billancourt, a suburb of Paris, Ulliel developed an early interest in acting. His mother was a runway show producer and his father a stylist, which helped him become comfortable in the world of fashion and performance from a young age. He began acting in French television films during his teenage years and quickly garnered attention for his talent. Ulliel's breakout role came in 2003 with Strayed, Les Égarés. Directed by André Téchiné, he won the César Award for Most Promising Actor in 2005 for his performance in A Very Long Engagement, Un long dimanche de fiançailles, where he starred opposite Audrey Tautou. In 2007, Ulliel reached international recognition by portraying the young Hannibal Lecter in Hannibal Rising, although the film received mixed reviews. His intense performance further showcased his range and potential. Ulliel was also a prominent figure in the fashion world, notably as the face of Chanel's Bleu de Chanel fragrance, in a campaign directed by Martin Scorsese. His classic features and quiet charisma made him a favorite among fashion photographers and designers alike. One of his most acclaimed performances came in 2014 when he portrayed fashion designer Yves Saint Laurent in Saint Laurent, a biopic directed by Bertrand Bonello. His deeply immersive portrayal earned him another César nomination. In 2017, Ulliel won the César Award for Best Actor for his role in It's Only the End of the World, Just la fin du monde. Directed by Xavier Dolan, his performance as a terminally ill writer returning home to his family was praised for its emotional depth and complexity. Tragically, Gaspard Ulliel died on January 19, 2022, at the age of 37, after a skiing accident in the French Alps. His sudden death shocked the film industry and his fans around the world. Ulliel's legacy is marked by his quiet intensity, elegance, and the remarkable emotional subtlety he brought to every role. He remains one of France's most beloved and respected actors, remembered for both his artistic achievements and his graceful presence on and off screen. Gaspard Ulliel's career was a testament to the power of subtlety in performance. With his expressive blue eyes, quietly intense demeanor, and deliberate approach to character building, he often portrayed sensitive, complex men, roles that relied more on nuance and silence than overt theatrics. This ability made him stand out in a generation of actors increasingly drawn to spectacle. Early career and education: Ulliel studied cinema at the University of Saint-Denis and began acting while still in school. He was cast in several television films and minor roles before breaking into cinema in the early 2000s. His early film appearances in Brotherhood of the Wolf, 2001, and Embrasses qui vous vaudrez, 2002, helped establish his presence. But it was Strayed, 2003, that proved he had the depth and sensitivity of a leading man. His quiet but powerful portrayal of Yvonne, a mysterious young man helping a mother and her children flee Nazi-occupied France, marked him as a rising star. International recognition: despite his growing acclaim in France, Ulliel never aggressively pursued Hollywood fame. His portrayal of Hannibal Lecter in Hannibal Rising, 2007, was a rare foray into big-budget English-language cinema. While the film had a mixed reception, his casting in such a major franchise underscored his international appeal and the enigmatic charm he brought to even dark roles. artistic choices rather than chase blockbusters. Ulliel preferred working with auteurs and participating in artistically challenging projects. He collaborated with directors like Bertrand Bonello, Xavier Dolan, and Jean-Pierre Jeunet. His portrayal of Yves Saint Laurent in Saint Laurent, 2014, was a career-defining performance. He approached the role not as an impersonation, but as an emotional and psychological study of a man torn between genius and self-destruction. The film, while unconventional, received critical acclaim and premiered at the Cannes Film Festival. Xavier Dolan collaboration in 2016, Canadian director Xavier Dolan cast Ulliel in It's Only the End of the World, an adaptation of a stage play by Jean-Luc Lagarce. Ulliel starred as Louis, a terminally ill writer returning home to tell his estranged family of his impending death. The film's tension was driven by long silences, lingering close-ups, and Ulliel's internalized performance. For this, he won the César Award for Best Actor, cementing his place as one of France's finest dramatic talents. Modeling and public persona Gaspard Ulliel had a natural elegance that made him a favorite in fashion circles. As the face of Chanel's Bleu de Chanel, he brought sophistication and a quiet masculinity to the brand. His collaborations with luxury brands were never ostentatious. They reflected his real-life personality, graceful, composed, and self-effacing. Unlike many celebrities, Ulliel was known for guarding his private life. He kept a low profile off-screen, preferring to let his work speak for itself. He had a son with French model and singer Gaëlle Pietri, and lived a relatively quiet life despite his fame. Final roles and tragic death at the time of his untimely death in January 2022. Ulliel was continuing to take on interesting projects. He had recently finished filming the Marvel series Moon Knight, in which he played Anton Mogart, Midnight Man. His role was small but notable as it marked his return to international screens shortly before his passing. His death, resulting from a head injury during a ski accident in Savoy, France, was met with widespread grief. The French film industry, international actors, and fans alike mourned his loss. He was remembered not just for his talent, but for his gentleness, humility, and the poetic quality he brought to cinema. Legacy. Gaspard Ulliel left behind a body of work characterized by refinement, emotional complexity, and artistic courage. He avoided fame for its own sake and focused instead on meaningful, resonant storytelling. Though his life and career were cut short, his performances continue to captivate audiences and inspire new generations of actors. Gaspard Ulliel's artistry, though tragically cut short, continues to resonate deeply not only in French cinema but in the wider global film community. He embodied the rare kind of actor whose emotional depth, haunting stillness, and physical elegance combined into performances that lingered long after the credits rolled. Commitment to craft. Ulliel approached acting with a seriousness and intensity that belied his youthful appearance. He often spoke of his desire to disappear into roles, favoring characters who were conflicted, restrained, or quietly tormented. Whether in historical dramas, literary adaptations, or experimental films, he brought a deep internal life to his characters. He wasn't drawn to flashy performances. His gift lay in restraint, in saying more with a glance than with a monologue. Directors praised his receptivity and precision. Xavier Dolan described working with Ulliel as watching someone sculpt emotions with silence, while Bertrand Bonello noted that Ulliel had a mystery in his eyes that no script could fully contain. He had a particular ability to convey longing, uncertainty, and pain without a word, making him ideal for emotionally complex roles. Versatility and range. Though often cast as brooding or tragic figures, Ulliel was far from one note. His career demonstrated range across genres. In Le Premier Cercle, 2009, he played a member of the Corsican Mafia, showing a harder, more violent edge. In The Art of Love, 2011, he demonstrated his ability to handle romantic comedy and satire. In Eva, 2018, he played a writer caught in a web of lies and seduction, opposite Isabelle Huppert, again showing his aptitude for psychological thrillers. In Twice Upon a Time, 2019, a TV miniseries blending science fiction and romance, Ulliel took on time travel themes with emotional realism and depth. Each of these projects highlighted a different facet of his talent, be it intensity, vulnerability, sensuality, or philosophical introspection. Collaboration with greats throughout his career, Ulliel worked with some of the most respected names in cinema. Jean-Pierre Jeunet, director of A Very Long Engagement, cast Ulliel as a gentle-hearted soldier in a vast and visually rich World War I story. Bertrand Bonello, who directed him in Saint Laurent, challenged him with a portrait of artistic genius under pressure, substance abuse, and fame. Xavier Dolan, one of cinema's most emotionally raw directors, saw in Ulliel a capacity to hold back emotion until the breaking point, something critical in It's Only the End of the World. These directors appreciated that Ulliel was not interested in stardom for its own sake. He cared about the role, the vision, and the truth of the performance. Personality and legacy. Despite his fame, Gaspard Ulliel remained understated and deeply private. He did not indulge in the typical celebrity culture. Friends and colleagues described him as sensitive, intelligent, shy, and intensely thoughtful. He read philosophy, admired classical cinema, and traveled widely but quietly. His son, born in 2016, brought him great joy, and he often spoke of wanting to balance art and fatherhood. He left behind a body of work that, while not vast in quantity, is remarkable in quality. There is a timelessness to many of his roles. He felt as much a part of 1960s French New Wave cinema as he did the modern era. After his death, tributes poured in from across the film world. Cannes held a moment of silence. Fellow actors such as Marion Cotillard, Juliette Binoche, and Vincent Cassel honored his talent and kindness. His Moon Knight co-stars paid tribute to his warmth and professionalism on set. Enduring influence. Though Ulliel's career ended too soon, his performances continue to captivate new audiences. His best work, Saint Laurent, It's Only the End of the World, A Very Long Engagement, Strayed, stands as a testament to what cinema can be when it's quiet, intimate, and emotionally honest. He represents a kind of artistry that resists superficial fame and focuses instead on craftsmanship, empathy, and emotional truth. For many, Gaspard Ulliel will remain one of the great lost talents of his generation, his legacy not in the quantity of his roles, but in the unforgettable depth he brought to them.
Bye bye. See you again. Thanks for watching. Bye.